Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Survive for all. Demon God level talent, my skills never cools down. Chapter 41. Seeing that the atmosphere in the group was about to get better, he quickly sent a few messages. Luckily, in fact, I just practiced some ancient Chinese martial arts. Maybe my martial arts talent is pretty good. Everyone can practice it. It will be very helpful to improve my strength. After speaking, he continued. I have a lot of rare materials and a lot of blue sophisticated equipment. If everyone has good things, we can exchange them with each other. I mainly want to collect items that restore energy and increase the energy limit. Secondly, I also want to collect various skill books. Don't worry about the price, you will definitely be satisfied. Quote. After saying that, he posted all the attributes of the items he obtained in the chat group. As soon as he sent it, the entire chat group became excited again. Holy crap, are we playing a game? I dug traps for more than 3 hours yesterday and just killed a little monster. There are so many blue sophisticated level equipment, as well as materials for purple monsters. The properties of this Star Fang ring are too awesome, right? Oh my god. Boss, how many monsters have you killed? Boss, what level are you at now? I'm only at level 1. Boss, what level of talent have you awakened? You won't secretly use cheats behind our backs, will you? I know, he must have awakened the system, that's what imagination novels say. Hey, brother, I have big breasts and a round butt. Can you come and save me? Just come here, I'll give it to you. A photo of a girl with bunny ears who looks like she's not wearing any. Get out of here, you weirdo upstairs, don't dirty the eyes of my boss. If you have the guts, post a few more. Watching the messages scrolling continuously in the chat group, Wang Meng happily began to reply to everyone. I have to say, it feels good to communicate with people. After bragging with his friends for more than an hour, he logged off and started today's practice. Punch, punch, punch. Practicing ancient Chinese martial arts every day is his must-do homework. He must keep getting stronger and then be ready to explore the forest. Human beings themselves are social animals. He must return to human society, otherwise he is afraid that over time, he will really become a savage. In such a deserted island, with his current strength, most of the survival problems have been solved. But as time went by, he faintly found that his mind was becoming more and more unstable. He is very impulsive and easily frustrated. Fortunately, on days when players are online, he can relieve mental stress in the group. But when the player goes offline, loneliness will envelope him. He looked up at the deserted island shrouded in darkness. This desert island always gave him an ominous feeling, as if there was something invisible that was constantly affecting his spirit. He hadn't discovered it before. But today, wearing 10-star bud rings at once greatly increased his mental power. After his mental power increased significantly, he suddenly felt that his entire head was much clearer, as if he had broken free from an invisible shackles. He is more sensible. While pumping his fist, his mind kept thinking. Although he was very reckless in the past, he always thought before he acted. But recently, he found himself becoming more and more impulsive. Just like hunting that giant bird today, with his usual personality, when encountering such an unknown monster, he would not be so impulsive and start hunting directly. And yesterday, after receiving the resources from Zhongshang, he actually spent the middle of the night with his cell phone. Although his kidneys are pretty good, he would never have been so uncontrolled before. And this is on a desert island. Excessive indulgence may bring life crisis to yourself. As he stayed on the desert island for a longer time, he seemed to be affected by some negative state unknowingly. Looking back now, he only felt a chill in his back. If things continue to develop, he will die of carelessness sooner or later. So this is the effect of mental attributes. Not only can it increase spell damage, it can also stabilize your emotions and increase your mental resistance. Wang Meng stopped pumping his fist and looked outside at the deserted island shrouded in darkness. After he completely regained his senses, he looked at the deserted island again and felt that the entire island was like a terrifying giant that was constantly devouring the world. I must seize every minute and every second to become stronger. If I stop, then I might die at any time. When this idea became clear in his mind, he suddenly became enlightened. Punch, punch, punch. There is nothing to be afraid of either. As long as you are strong enough. All monsters and monsters will be destroyed by him with one punch. At this time, Bureau 826 Underground Secret Base. Several soldiers took the report and hurried to the office. Report: there is an important discovery. Li Yong took the report handed over by his subordinates and watched it carefully. Monster magnetic field, mental pollution. Li Yong frowned. The situation in the country had finally stabilized recently, and now this unexpected situation happened again. According to statistics in the report, chaos has erupted in hundreds of monster containment sites across the country recently. Suicide, self-mutilation, depression, violent fights occur frequently. The troops guarding the monsters at these monster holding sites are all the most elite troops in China. Whether it is physical fitness or mental pressure resistance, they are elite teachers. But now, not only do they have a high incidence of depression, but there have even been several cases of suicide. This is definitely not normal. The top scientists in China have also analyzed this phenomenon. The result is, these monsters from another world in the game have a special energy magnetic field around them. If it is just the energy magnetic field of a single monster, the effect is not obvious. But if a large number of monsters gather together, quantitative changes will lead to qualitative changes. If you stay with these monsters for a long time, your emotions will continue to become extreme, and you will eventually have a mental breakdown. The report concluded that if this special energy magnetic field is too strong, it may even change the surrounding environment. Li Yong looked at the report in front of him and remained silent. A long time. He spoke. Rotate all the guarding troops into groups and hold on for a while. The decision has been made above and universal recruitment will begin soon. Others, just follow the cooperation in the report. Yes. Several subordinates saluted and then retreated. With the emergence of monsters and game players, the world has already undergone earth-shaking changes. Food prices continue to rise, housing prices in cities continue to plummet, and foreign financial systems completely collapse. Some people panic because of the doomsday remarks, while some people are particularly yearning for the identity of players because of the emergence of superpowers. The whole world is in chaos, but China is the last country to stabilize its basic market. In the streets, official promotional vehicles would slowly pass by from time to time, playing various messages in a loop. Notice, notice, the college entrance examination is officially undergoing nationwide reform. All cultural subjects will be greatly reduced, and English subjects have been completely cancelled. The country has formed hundreds of thousands of superpower troops, and they will become the protective umbrella of the people. 6 more monsters were discovered in the Changbai Mountains. Military troops have been dispatched. Containment will begin soon. Please rest assured. Chinese scientists have developed super crops through monster cells and are currently studying their edibility. Wang Yang rode a small electric donkey and sighed as he looked at the promotional vehicle passing slowly in front of him. He is a delivery boy, and his business is usually pretty good. Since the monster invasion, the whole world seems to have become magical. Gamers with special powers appeared and even went on TV to perform shows about beating monsters. Big crabs that are 5 to 6 meters tall and look like tanks appear in the city and kill them. He sighed again. Business has been getting worse and worse recently. Oh, forget it. I will go back to my hometown tomorrow and pick up the 10 acres of farmland at home. As long as there is farmland, I won't starve to death anyway. After saying that, he left slowly on his little electric donkey. What will this world become in the end? Desert island. A huge virgin forest. Zhongshang is hiding in a tree hole. This is his 3rd time coming to the monster game world. But for so long, he has never left the tree hole, let alone hunted monsters. Relying on his talent, energy fat, he can easily survive 3 days every time. At this time, he was hiding in a tree hole, holding a 2-dimensional beautiful girl pillow, and all around him were his paper figurine wives. Although the outside world is full of monsters, in this small tree hole, with his wives accompanying him, he only feels full of happiness. Just as he was holding the pillow and rubbing it continuously, bursts of rustling sounds suddenly appeared outside the tree hole. 2 huge eyes suddenly stretched out, thick body fluids, and a soft and disgusting body. A huge snail 2 to 3 meters high slowly poked its head in. Its mouth-like mouth is constantly opening and closing, with rows of sharp teeth looming in it. This snail is not vegetarian at first glance. Zhang Zhang's figure kept retreating, and the fat all over his body shook like an electric baton. It's over, he was discovered by a monster, I'm afraid he won't be able to survive this time. Fear made him involuntarily open the chat group, and then he desperately sent messages in it. I met a monster, who will save me? Who will save me? Who will save me? He clicked on the chat group desperately. Although many people responded to his messages, he was not in the mood to read at all. This big snail has crawled in. After entering the tree hole, the big snail did not attack him for the time being. It crawled in front of Zhang Zhang's wives, opened and closed its mouthparts, and started to eat. No. No, my love Chan. Ways. Don't. His fat body began to tremble, and anger burned in his eyes. You can eat me, but why do you want to eat my wife? Ah, a roar brings courage. After the long knife slashed across it, the snail's huge head slowly slid down as the figures intertwined. Sometimes, monsters are not scary, but the cowardice that dare not face them is scary. Although Zhang Shang finally mustered up the courage to kill the big snail, his cherished wives were gone. In the final analysis, he is still too weak. But like Wang Mang, he has never had this problem. Ah, I want to have a girlfriend. I have been single for so many years. I'm still a virgin. On the endless beach, Wang Mang yelled at the sunset as hard as he could. Although Zhang Shang had given him a lot of computer resources before, it could only let him release the depression in his body, but it could not fill the emptiness in his heart. After reading more, he wanted to have a serious girlfriend. Is this going to be the end of my life? Shaking his head, he must not have this idea of giving up. Clench your fists with both hands and swear secretly to the sunset. No, I want to improve myself. I want to save myself. I must get a girlfriend. I can't be single all my life. He picked up a spear and suddenly stood up from the beach. Before, he was still too lazy and not working hard enough. Starting from today, the hunting time will be doubled and the martial arts training time will be doubled. I must become the strongest. Then go home and have a vigorous love affair. With a strange cry, he rushed out quickly. Soon, the whining sounds of various monsters kept coming from the distant reefs. The black armored beasts lay deep in the sand, not daring to take a breath. The sea cockroaches were all gathered in the cracks of the rocks, shivering. This terrifying two-legged monster is here again. Why is it here again? The two-legged fish have already hid in the sea. They are fish to begin with, so it makes sense for them to live in the sea, right? The only ones who are pitiful are the blue crabs. They usually show off their power on the beach with their hard shells, but now they are the worst killed. In the end, they had to imitate the two-legged fish and all sank under the sea. After fighting until dark, Wang Mang returned home with satisfaction. After having dinner with Boss Xie, he started pumping his fists non-stop and practicing ancient Chinese martial arts. The next day, it's just dawn. The boy's figure had already appeared on the beach, sweating continuously. Day and night alternate, and the stars change. Hunt monsters, punch and punch. Hunt monsters, punch and punch. Ding. Kill the blue crab, gain +8 experience, and raise your level to LV8. Hunt monsters, punch and punch. Hunt monsters, punch and punch. Ding. Kill the sea cockroach, gain experience +3, and raise your level to LV9. A few days later, Wang Mang wore a straw hat and linen clothes, and his skin was tanned to a wheat color, just like an old farmer who had just returned from the fields. These clothes and hats are all made by himself from grass leaves and vines. Now he can not only make clothes and furniture, but also pottery and chain iron. If I return to Blue Star now, I might even be able to become a wild survival anchor. But it's a pity that he can't go back. He looked down at his perfect body, with 8-pack abs and wheat-colored skin. If this goes back to Blue Star, it will definitely be loved by rich women, and I don't know how many years of hard work will be spared. Oh, rich women must be very lonely without me. Wang Mang shook his head narcissistically and retracted his thoughts. With his crazy hunting these days, his level jumped directly to level 9. Since he discovered the importance of mental attributes a few days ago, the 10 attribute points he obtained this time did not add all of his physical attributes but half of them on each side. Although the liver level makes him a little addicted, the monsters in this world are not like games after all. They cannot be refreshed, and they also have a certain degree of wisdom. Therefore, with his recent crazy hunting, there are fewer and fewer monsters around, and it has become very difficult to upgrade. He thought about it for a long time last night and finally made a decision. Today he is going to the deep forest. Although it is very dangerous to enter the forest for hunting, he must take this first step. Recently, through the information on his mobile phone, he has learned a lot about survival knowledge in the tropical rainforest. Although this knowledge may not be completely applicable to the forest on a desert island, it can also be used as a reference. And this time he didn't plan to go deep, but just inspected the outside. Soon, he came to the edge of the forest, where giant trees hundreds of meters tall towered over the sky. Every leaf here is the size of a mattress, and the trunks are like tall buildings. Underneath, huge roots and vines are intertwined with each other, and the land is almost invisible. There are countless gaps among those roots, and occasionally you can see some small insects crawling inside. Wang Meng slowly entered the forest and walked on a huge tree root. This tree root is very big, like a viaduct, extending into the distance. This is too big. Just as he sighed, suddenly, there was a rustling sound among the roots of the tree. A dozen spider-like beetles quickly crawled over from the tree trunk. Standing 3 to 4 meters tall and with bark-like carapace all over their bodies, these spider monsters are very fast and can crawl in tree trunks as if they were on the ground. Wang Meng looked at the scene in front of him without any fear. Instead, his eyes revealed excitement. He recently went on a killing spree in the reefs, and all the monsters looked at him like a mouse seeing a cat, and ran away without a trace. It had been a long time since a monster had dared to charge him like this. You are so brave. Intermediate muscle strengthening. Body shape expands slightly. Wang Meng held a spear in his hand and rushed out like a cheetah with his legs strong. Soon, more than a dozen spider monsters were all killed by his gun. Ding! Kill 12 tree spiders and gain 60 experience points. Ding! Decompose it to get 36 pieces of insect meat. The tree spider has 12 carapaces. After killing the spider monster, Wang Meng shook his head in disappointment. He rarely encountered new monsters and didn't explode a single treasure chest. But it doesn't matter, you have experience. In all games, level 10 is a hurdle. He eagerly wanted to know what changes would happen after reaching level 10. Maybe after level 10, there will be a return function so that I can go home. When he thought about returning to the city in the game, Wang Meng became very motivated. He picked up his spear and rushed out, and began to carefully search for prey in the forest. After hunting all morning, Wang Meng went home early after killing hundreds of ordinary monsters. Today is the day when the players return. He must rush home early because there are still many things waiting for him to arrange. As soon as he got home, he opened the chat interface and found Zhang Shang. Brother Shang, are you still there? After waiting for 10 minutes, Zhang Shang slowly returned the message, but he didn't seem to be in a very happy mood. Oh, it's Wang Meng, are you okay? Brother Shang, I took a video with my mobile phone. It's for my family. Can you please help me take it back? I also prepared a small gift for Brother Shang. This will be used as a reward for Brother Zhang's help. Quote. Zhang Shang glanced at the chat interface, showing little interest. Ever since his wife was eaten by a monster, he felt that the world was suddenly dim. Okay, it's just a small thing. Wang Meng looked at the chat group and sighed. Brother Shang is such a good person. Brother Shang, why do you feel a little bad? Are you encountering any difficulties? Do you want my help? Zhang Shang shook his head and sighed. Just 2 days ago, my wife was eaten by a monster. We have been together for several years, and I really love them. As he talked, Zhang Shang started crying. When Wang Meng heard this, he thought, his wife was dead. He was a single guy and he really didn't know how to comfort him. Brother Shang, don't be sad, there is no resurrection after death. Wang Meng didn't know what to say for a moment. He had never even held a woman's hand. His dead wife was too far away for him. Hey, Brother Shang, I'm giving you something. It's a little bit of my gratitude. Thank you for helping me recently. As Wang Meng spoke, he took out a blue quality star tooth ring from his space backpack, hung it in the auction mall, then gave a few awkward words of comfort and hurried away. He really didn't know how to comfort him in this situation. After bidding farewell to Brother Shang, Li Jun quickly found him. Classmate Wang Meng, We are expected to be offline soon. I wonder if the recording equipment is ready. Don't worry, I remember it. I've just packed up all the video equipment and hung it up in the auction mall. I set the password as a note, so you can go directly to the auction. Li Jun nodded. Wang Mang was more cooperative than expected. This mission was successfully completed. Thank you, classmate Wang Mang. The people will remember your achievements, and the country will not forget everything you have done. Well, Brother Jun, I can be considered a member of the country. I heard from my friends that as long as I join, I can directly become a civil servant. Look, I can't go back. Can you give me this quota to my dad, mom, and my sister? Wang Mang did not do this on a whim, but after thinking about it for a long time. He also got a rough idea of Blue Star's current situation from the chats among his group of friends. Monsters in the game world invade reality and cannot be killed by conventional weapons. The whole world is talking about the revival of spiritual energy or the end of the world. In such a troubled time, his parents and family are just ordinary people. Only if they can embrace the lap of the country can they be relied on. He can't go back, this is the only thing he can do for his family. Li Jun did not hesitate and replied to him quickly. Okay, I will report your request to my leader, and I believe the country will give you a satisfactory answer. It's not easy for you to live alone on a desert island. If you need anything else, please tell me and I will try my best to help you. Quote. When Wang Mang heard this, he beamed with joy. Sure enough, it felt better to embrace the country's lap. Soon, Wang Mang made a lot of requests, which gave Li Jun a headache. Classmate Wang Mang, I will help you convey some necessary supplies. But like some two-dimensional pillow, the latest episode of Ocean King anime, there is a hidden folder of more than 60 gigabytes in the second row of the third row of the D drive in your computer. There's no need to bring these things over. Wang Mang smiled, slightly disappointed. Those were resources he had saved for a long time. Hey, forget it, let's just take a look at Brother Zhang's. The teachers there are all from Europe and America, and there are too few teachers from island countries. Li Jun checked several times before going to the auction mall to take a photo of Wang Mang's package. 10 minutes later, the lively chat group became quiet again. Everyone is offline again. In the entire different world, Wang Mang was the only one who stared at the chat group in a daze. A long time, Wang Mang patted his face and cheered himself up. He turned around, picked up the spear, and rushed into the forest again. He will go back sooner or later, he will definitely go back. Bureau 826 Underground Secret Base. Hundreds of people are sitting in the conference room. As monsters in the game world invade reality and players with superpowers appear one after another, the status of Game 826 is getting higher and higher. Even in the database of Bureau 826, it also controls the information of all superpowers nationwide. At this time, on a huge screen, a young man was lying on a stone. In the distance, a giant bird nearly 20 meters high was in front of him. Suddenly, a black shadow flashed past, and terrifying wind pressure swept over. The giant bird's chest was directly pierced, and it died suddenly. The screen pauses. Li Yong spoke slowly. Everyone should have seen that this is the special player we discovered, codename Zero. The black shadow just now is actually a long gun. According to computer calculations, the speed of this long gun has reached a terrifying 800 meters per second. This speed is close to the speed of a heavy sniper rifle. And this is not a small bullet, but a long gun weighing dozens of kilograms. The kinetic energy contained in it is very terrifying. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would never have believed that this was something humans could do. According to the information currently known, even all the 5-star talented players in the world cannot have such terrifying strength. Number 0. I'm afraid he's the super player we've never discovered before. After Li Yong finished speaking, the entire conference hall fell silent. Everyone was a little silent. They always thought that super players were nothing more than that. Although they were stronger than ordinary people, a bullet could kill them easily. But now it seems that the super players like Blue Star are just too weak. Compared with Zero, they are a bit too weak. The strength shown by number 0 also made some people present feel a little uneasy. Suddenly an old general sitting in the front row spoke slowly. Where is player 0 now? Such a powerful super player must be in the hands of the state. Li Yong picked up the information and opened his mouth to reply. He is currently not in China, not even on Blue Star. He is a very special player, the only one we know of who has never returned. Quote, he is in the monster game world. Li Yong pushed his eyes and continued. I have been discussing with think tanks for a long time, and there are currently 2 guesses about Zero. The first guess is that player Zero may be a variable. He and his abilities must be very special and should have broken through some kind of boundary. If he returns to Blue Star, it may change the current situation of mankind, which goes against the rules of the game. That's why he couldn't return. The second guess is that player Zero may be a pioneer. If, as described in the imagination novel, the invasion of the game world will lead to time travel by all people, then this kind of time travel will definitely have a process. Just like playing a game, there will be closed beta. And now all players are actually participating in the game's internal beta. But player Zero is a bit special. For some unknown reason, he may have officially entered the game in advance. He will become a pioneer and obtain first-hand information about the monster world for mankind. Quote, after Li Yong finished speaking, the picture on the screen started playing again. From Wang Meng's perspective, he is basically hunting various monsters. Those who were running rampant on the earth required the cooperation of several superpowers and special forces to kill the giants. In Wang Meng's hands, they were crushed to death like babies. A long time. The old man sitting at the head slowly spoke. From now on, the information of number 0 will be set as top secret. No one can reveal it to anyone without my permission. The old man's eyes became sharp, scanning everyone present. Li Yong, from now on, you will be fully responsible for No. 0. His family members will all enter Bureau 826. Yes. Li Yong stood up respectfully and gave a military salute to the old man. Soon, Bureau 826 dispatched a secret force. All information about Wang Meng began to disappear. Student files, network traces, game accounts, all traces have been erased. Except for his family and former classmates and friends who still remember him, no one in the world can find any trace of Wang Meng. And in a certain top secret file, player 0 was placed at the deepest level. A pickup truck moved forward slowly. Zhang Shang came back alive from the game world this time. Unfortunately, all his paper man wives were eaten by monsters. As soon as he came home, his mother came out quickly. Xiao Shang, just be okay, just be okay. Seeing that her son in front of her was a little depressed, Zhang Zheng's mother patted his shoulder and comforted him. Son, just be alive. It was all Mom's fault in the past, and I will never force you to go on a blind date again. You used to do some two-dimensional things, and my mother couldn't understand it. I've been thinking a lot in the past few days. The second dimension is the second dimension. Mom supports you. After saying that, Zhang Zheng's mother took out a big box from the house. All of them are exquisite two-dimensional figures. Son, Mom spent a year's salary to buy you a lot according to your preferences. Mom has only one request, you must come back alive in the future. Zhang Shang looked at the boxes in front of him in surprise. These were all his favorite wives. For a moment, my nose felt sore and tears flowed down. His mother has always opposed him playing in the second dimension, but she didn't expect that his mother knew all his preferences. Mom, don't worry, I will definitely not die, and I will provide for you in your old age. The middle-aged woman smiled happily. He was just such a son, and she hoped that it would be what he said in the end. Xuanshan Super High School. Zhang Xiaolong kept swinging his knife while he was still in the training room. His level had reached level 3, and he was in the first echelon among super players across the country. This time he traveled to the game world and became stronger again. He finally completed his first solo kill. In the past, when he hunted monsters, he needed fire support from special forces, but now he no longer needs it. He has become a strong man in his own right. This morning, Principal Chen found him. He had passed the assessment, and the Qianlong project was officially launched for him. The time to travel to the game world is 3 days, and you can rest in Blue Star for 7 days after the end. And in these 7 days, he will become stronger. Huasha Kingdom has arranged hundreds of monsters for him. He will use these 7 days to upgrade to level 4 and become one of the top super players in Washa Kingdom. Monsters in the game world have invaded reality, and countless people are living in dire straits. In invisible corners, some people are devoured by monsters, and some people take the opportunity to cause chaos and commit crimes. Killing pigs will not save China, so he needs to change his career. Waving the long knife, Zhang Xiaolong's eyes became more determined. He will protect this country. In the huge forest, a small figure walked out slowly. Wang Meng stretched out. Today he hunted more than 400 monsters and gained more than 2,000 experience points. The monsters in this forest are indeed rich and diverse, with many numbers and types. He has been a bit soft on the recent killings. Open the panel. Character Wang Meng. Inherent talent no cold stacking. Level LV9 8021 25,600. Physique 63 49 plus 5 plus 3 plus 6. Spirit 41 11 plus 30. Energy 125 15 plus 5 plus 5 plus 100. The limit for ordinary humans is 10 points. Skill 1. Intermediate muscle strengthening consumes 10 points of energy to increase the muscle strength of the whole body by 40%, with a duration of 120 and a cooling time of 10 minutes. Rating 2 stars. Skill 2, none. Skill 3, none. Seeing that the experience bar in the panel had only reached 1/3, Wang Meng sighed. Upgrading in this world is very difficult. Every time the level is upgraded, the experience points required for upgrading will become more. And as his level gets higher and higher, the experience of hunting ordinary monsters is also decreasing. Oh, I guess I won't be able to reach level 10 when the players come back next time. It's too slow. Wang Meng shook his head and walked home with his spear on his back. As soon as he got home, Boss Xie ran out in a hurry. Because the food he's been eating lately has been so good, Mr. Xia's body has grown rapidly. Now, it is more than 3 meters tall and is no longer the cute little crab it was before. Boss Xie happily climbed to Wang Meng's side, lay down, and wanted Wang Meng to sit on him, his eyes full of flattery. Smiling and patting its head, Wang Meng turned over and sat on its back. Boss Xie is now becoming more and more aware of his mount. Unfortunately, since Boss Xie is a crab, he is sitting in a strange direction and looks a little silly. The huge crab crawled slowly, and the boy sat on it, watching the sunset. The scenery was beautiful. When he got home, he threw a few pieces of wood into the fire pit and decided to have a barbecue today. There are many types of monsters in the forest. In addition to a large number of bugs and snails, there is also a moving mushroom man. These are considered the lowest level monsters in the forest. They are not strong, but they are quite delicious. And today he also hunted a special elite monster, tree pig. It is nearly 10 meters tall and looks a bit like a cross between a mouse and a pig. It has high defense and pretty good strength. This was the first time he had hunted a mammal monster since he traveled to a desert island. Its whole body was full of fat, especially fat. These fats are good things. Not only can they be used to make cooking oil, but they can also be used to make lighting tools such as oil lamps and torches. Moreover, he is really tired of eating seafood, bugs, and mushrooms every day recently. So he's going to eat roast pig today instead. Pick some fresh fruits and vegetables from your own garden, cut the mushroom monster meat into small pieces, and layer it with the pork. After being busy for more than an hour, Wang Meng started his first barbecue on the desert island. Wang Meng sat on the fire pit, happily eating barbecue and drinking juice with Boss Xie. It's a pity that there is no cumin and chili, so the taste is still a little less interesting. While eating barbecue, Wang Meng was thinking. Recently, due to his crazy hunting of monsters around him, there are fewer and fewer monsters nearby. Especially near his home, this beach has become a forbidden place, and almost all monsters walk around it. This also causes his upgrade speed to become slower and slower. Although I have gained a lot of experience in hunting in the forest recently, most of the ones I hunted were low-level monsters, and the efficiency was not very high. I've been hanging out on the edge for a long time, let's take a deeper look tomorrow. After thinking for a long time, Wang Meng made a decision. Although the risk of killing ordinary monsters is low, the treasure chest will not be exploded, and the materials from low-level monsters are of little use. he still prefers to hunt those giant beasts. Whether it was the pleasure of exploding equipment after killing a giant monster, or the thrill of the kidney line soaring when killing, he was deeply obsessed with it. When he played games in the past, he always liked to challenge those powerful boss monsters. That was his only pleasure in playing games. But this is reality after all, unlike a game that can be restarted. So he must be cautious and fully prepared. After the barbecue, we came to our vegetable garden. In the very center of the vegetable garden, a small red tree over 3 meters high stood in the middle. In the crown of the tree, there are 4 bright red and translucent apple-like fruits hanging under the tree. This is the blood spirit tree he planted before. After this period of careful care, it finally bore fruit. After carefully picking off 4 blood spirit fruits, a message popped up. Ding! Get 4 blood spirit fruits. Item: blood spirit fruit. Quality: blue excellent. Effect: the fruits produced by the blood coagulation tree have a certain amount of active vitality. If used directly, a total of 15 points of damaged constitution can be restored within 3 seconds. It can also be used as a material to make food and potions. Rating: 2 stars. After carefully placing the 4 blood spirit fruits into his space backpack, Wang Meng nodded with satisfaction. Just as he guessed, the blood spirit fruit can really be used to restore injuries. Although this world also has a panel, it does not have the attribute of health, and it also has no strength, agility, luck, or intelligence. In this monster world, everything related to the body is only related to the constitution. But it is also understandable that this world is more realistic after all. For example, if you want to be faster, then agility, physique and strength are all indispensable. And if your strength is strong, your speed cannot be slow. Strength, physique, speed are originally a trinity. In this world, physique determines physical strength, and spirit determines soul strength. The higher the physique, the higher the speed, strength, reaction speed, vitality, etc. And if you are injured, your physical fitness will be temporarily reduced, and your vitality, strength, speed, etc. will be affected to a certain extent. Since the blood spirit fruit can restore damaged physique, it can actually restore health in disguise. This seemed to him crucial. It was precisely because of the blood spirit fruit that he dared to make up his mind to explore deeper in the forest. After carefully putting the blood spirit fruit into his space backpack, Wang Meng started his daily martial arts training again. He looked back at the cell phone on the bed, hesitated for a moment, and then quickly shook his head. No, I'm just a weakling. How can I play with my mobile phone? I want to practice, I want to level up. When I reach level 10, I can ask the ladies on my phone to comfort me. Aha! Wang Meng slapped his face, quickly entered the state, and began to punch continuously. Next to him, Boss Xie also crawled over. He stood behind Wang Meng, waving his huge pliers in a serious manner. Billy, it also wants to practice and become a powerful crab. While guarding the house today, Mr. Xie met a cute female crab. Looking at its beautiful eyes and beautiful clip, Boss Xie was moved. But as soon as it came closer, the beautiful female crab glanced at it disdainfully. After calling it a little thin dog, the female crab shook her hot clip and left. There were several blue crabs nearby, pointing at it and scolding it for overestimating its capabilities. This huge blow made the simple Boss Xie sad for a long time. But in the past 30 years in Hedong and in 30 years in Hexi, it has been useless to thank the boss, and today it will begin its counterattack. I'll clip it, I'll clip it, I'll clip it. One day, it will shock those crabs who look down on itself. It will slap them in the face. Billy, in the cave, under dim light, a young man and a big crab started their journey to become kings by shaking their fists. The next day, at dawn, Wang Meng entered the forest. Today he will go deeper into the forest to hunt stronger monsters. As we continue to move along the tree roots, the surrounding light becomes darker and darker. As he continued to hunt monsters in the forest these past few days, he also gained some understanding of this huge forest. There are actually 3 levels in this forest. On the lowest level, that is, under the tree roots, there live a large number of small monsters. Most of them are 2 to 5 meters in size and weak. At the same time, there will also be some monsters that prey on them on the lowest level, but most of them are no more than 10 meters in size and their strength is average. Above the tree roots is the middle layer. The range of the middle layer is very large, and it is about 10 to 200 meters from the surface. The monsters in the middle layer are more abundant and diverse, and their sizes have become larger, with monsters ranging from 10 meters to 50 meters high appearing. And above 200 meters, that is, the tree crown, is the uppermost layer. Wang Meng didn't know much about the situation at the top, but one thing was certain: many rare bird-like monsters lived in the tree canopy. Wang Meng has been wandering around under the roots of the tree. After killing dozens of overestimating insects, he finally found an elite monster on a huge tree branch. It has a huge body of 20 meters tall, an exaggerated mouth, and powerful and thick hind legs. This was exactly the big-mouthed frog he had killed before. At this time, he was munching on a prey and did not notice Wang Meng's approach at all. Wang Meng hid behind the huge tree trunk, climbing up through the uneven bark, and at the same time, slowly approached the big-mouthed frog. Wang Meng was careful. This big-mouthed frog was different from the last time. It was not injured and was still in full bloom. After climbing for more than 10 minutes, Wang Meng stopped on a tree branch. This location is very good, right on top of the big-mouthed frog's head. Intermediate muscle strengthening, intermediate muscle strengthening, intermediate muscle strengthening. As he continued to stack skills, his body expanded like a balloon every second. He had already taken off all his clothes, leaving only a pair of big slime underwear. Soon, the emaciated Wang Meng turned into a muscular giant more than 3 meters tall. Intermediate muscle strengthening is 28 times, and the muscle increase is 1,120%. The blood vessels all over his body burst out, like ferocious green snakes wrapping around his body. His heart beat like a drum, thump 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 thump. The shock made his scalp numb. His whole body turned red, which was because the blood was rushing through his body. After taking a slow breath, an exaggerated burst of white air spurted out from his mouth and nose, penetrating the surrounding tree trunks like a sharp sword. He became stronger again. The effect of the intermediate muscle strengthening was better than he imagined, and he felt that his blood was boiling all over. Close your eyes and feel the power bursting out of your muscles. He was a little cautious before and thought about making a sneak attack, but now it seems that there is no need. He now decided to blow up this 20-meter-tall monster head-on. And at this time, the big-mouthed frog on the tree trunk had long realized that something was wrong. Wang Meng's terrifying heartbeat was so exaggerated that it could be clearly heard from a long distance away. It slowly turned its body and stared at Wang Meng above. Inside this little bug, it felt a fatal threat. The big-mouthed baby's legs slowly exerted force, and his entire abdomen slowly bulged. He opened his mouth wide, revealing numerous interlocking sharp teeth, and a dull frog crowing came out of his mouth. This is a warning. It attempts to use momentum to intimidate Wang Meng and make him retreat. But obviously, this warning had no effect on Wang Meng. Instead, Wang Meng became even more excited because of its violent croaking. Don't know why. Wang Meng would become particularly excited every time he transformed into a muscular giant. It's as if you have completed the 4th kill, and the 5th kill is right in front of you, at your fingertips. Doesn't this make your blood boil? Separated by hundreds of meters, the terrifying muscular giant and the giant forest frog more than 20 meters high looked at each other. Both sides are accumulating strength, just for a fatal blow. Boom! There was a loud noise, a huge frog leapt in the air, and it bit Wang Meng directly with its bloody mouth. Finally, it was the big-mouthed frog that couldn't bear it any longer. What is in front of it is just a small insect. Given its size, it is impossible for it to lose. But Wang Meng was still squatting on the ground, holding a big knife in his hand. He squatted with his legs half-crouched, leaned forward slightly, turned his whole body to the left, and held the knife in his right hand. He concentrated all the energy and blood in his body on his right hand, and the terrifying momentum was concentrated in one point. This is the secret skill of ancient Chinese martial arts that he has been practicing for a long time recently. 7 killings Bagua Yishantian. When the giant frog flew towards him, Wang Meng's sword came first. With a body that is 6 times beyond human limits, and muscle growth of 1,120%, all this terrifying physical power is concentrated on one point, and it explodes instantly by drawing a sword and slashing. How powerful is this burst? I saw. An exaggerated sword light flew out at extremely high speed, instantly cutting the 20-meter-tall big-mouth frog in half. The blood of the giant frog sprayed like rain, and the terrifying sword energy continued unabated, cutting all the branches behind it in half. With one knife, the 20-meter beast dies. Ding! Leap level, kill the elite monster Big Mouth Frog, gain 1180 experience points, and obtain a blue quality treasure box. Wang Meng put away the blue treasure box floating in front of him, then jumped down from the tree trunk and decomposed all the corpses of the big-mouthed frog. Soon, he left the place. This forest is extremely dangerous. The blood just sprayed may attract other predators. He must leave as soon as possible. After running far away, he found a tree hole and hid in it. He took a few small blue pills to restore his energy and glanced at the long knife in his hand. The sword that had just exploded with full force, although powerful, completely destroyed the weapon. I saw cracks all over the blade. When I opened the properties panel, I saw that the blade was completely damaged and could not even be repaired. White quality weapons are still too bad. I don't know if I can get a useful weapon from the treasure chest this time. Wang Meng sighed. The weapons in this world are actually durable. Although it is not displayed on the weapon panel, the weapon will be damaged if it is used excessively. Damaged weapons can be repaired in the crafting interface by consuming various ore materials. But as Wang Meng became stronger and stronger, these white quality weapons could no longer meet his consumption. Every time he hits it with all his strength, the white quality weapon in his hand will directly collapse and cannot even be repaired. Fortunately, he had killed many elite level monsters, opened many white treasure chests, and had hundreds of weapons in his space backpack. Blue quality weapons should be harder. I don't know when I can explode one. After withdrawing his thoughts, Wang Meng rubbed his hands and looked at the blue treasure box floating in front of him, feeling a little excited. It's time to open the treasure chest again. Opening the treasure chest, the starlight dissipated, leaving only a few items in front of him. Ding! Get the blue quality frog gun. Equipment: frog spear. Type: weapon lance. Quality: blue excellent. Attributes: constitution +1-2, energy +25. Effect: Effect 1. Sharpness enhancement level 1. Effect 2. Frog breath active skill. After turning on frog breath, 15 energy points are consumed, muscle strength is increased by 20%, jumping ability is increased by 30%, duration is 60 seconds, and cooling time is 30 minutes. Rating: 2.5 stars. Ding! Get 5 blue quality black crystals. Material: black quartz. Type: ore. Quality: blue excellent. Effect: can be used to build equipment, repair equipment, and strengthen equipment. Rating: 2 stars. Ding! A second level experience book. Type: experience book. Quality: blue excellent. Effect: after use, you will instantly gain 1000 experience points. Evaluation: 2 stars. Looking at the several items exploded in front of him, Wang Meng grabbed the spear on the ground, his face full of joy. After so long, I finally reported the first blue weapon. He weighed the frog spear in his hand. This spear was huge, about 2 meters long, and weighed at least 100 or 200 kilograms. But for Wang Meng now, this weight is just right. Look at the data displayed on the frog gun in the properties panel. This long gun not only increases its basic attributes even more, but also has 2 very good effects. There is actually an active amplification skill that can increase muscle strength and jumping ability. He stared at the second effect on the panel, frog's breath. Suddenly a strange thought flashed through his mind. Your own natural ability, no cooldown superposition, allows skills to have no cooldown, and the skill effects can be superimposed infinitely. So are the skills included in this weapon considered one of the skills? Thinking of this, he clenched his spear excitedly and started the frog's breath. Ding! Activate the skill frog's breath, increase muscle strength by 20%, and increase jumping ability by 30%, lasting 60 seconds. After moving his body for a while, his strength and jumping ability had indeed increased a lot, so he shouted in a low voice again. Use frog's breath. The spear in his hand suddenly flashed, and frog's breath was activated again. Ding! Activate the skill frog's breath, increase muscle strength by 20%, and increase jumping ability by 30%, lasting 60 seconds. Wang Meng looked at the information displayed on the panel and his face was filled with joy. Sure enough, it can be used again. Your own natural ability really has an effect on the skills in the weapon. A long time. Wang Mang calmed down the excitement in his heart. He collected the ore he produced, and then used the blue quality experience book. The experience bar grew a little longer. After doing this, he started walking at the bottom again. While hunting those low-level monsters, he slowly recovered his energy while looking for the next hunting target. Now these little monsters within 10 meters have completely lost his interest. He needs to hunt stronger monsters and explode higher-level treasure chests. In this way, Wang Mang kept hunting in the forest. It wasn't until the sky got a little dark that he slowly walked out of the forest. Today, as he went deep into the forest, he hunted more than 300 little monsters and 4 big-mouthed frogs. In addition to gaining a lot of experience and materials, he also gained 2 blue treasure chests and 12 white treasure chests. It can be said to be a full harvest. Carrying his 2-meter-long gun, Wang Mang walked on the beach humming a tune. Sure enough, everything is difficult at the beginning. The forest that had once seemed so terrifying to him was now nothing more than that. Moreover, when hunting in the forest, the experience gain is significantly accelerated. I am afraid that it will not be long before he can reach level 10. Thinking this way, he felt even happier. As he walked, he arrived at the door of his house. What was rare today was that Boss Xie did not come to greet him. I was a little confused just now, but when I opened the door, I saw Boss Xie huddled in the corner of the bed, making bubbling bubble sounds from his mouth. Thank you, boss. What's going on with you today? Wang Mang saw Boss Xie lying listlessly and immediately ran over nervously. He was alone on this desert island, and he only had this crab. He had been together for a long time recently and had some feelings for him, but he couldn't just die like this. Billy, Billy. Boss Xie yelled a few times, which probably meant that life was boring. When Wang Mang heard this, he stood aside. Are all crabs so miserable nowadays? Your brother and I are trapped on a desert island, but we are still working hard every day. Why do you, a little crab, say this? Wang Mang narrowed his eyes and his tone became sinister. Thank you, boss. Since you think living is boring, I'll roast you tonight. It would be a waste to raise you so big and die. When Boss Xie heard this, he trembled all over and got up instantly. Billy Billy, beep, beep. After it finished speaking, it straightened its chest and belly, and ran to the vegetable garden to patrol continuously, showing its value. Although it likes to eat braised pork, it doesn't want to become a piece of braised pork. Wang Mang glanced at Boss Xie and smiled without saying a word. He took out the pincers of an elite blue crab directly from his space backpack. Then he kept adding firewood to the fire pit and started to barbecue. Boss Xie was hiding next to the vegetable garden, shivering. Is the master really coming? An hour later, Wang Mang sat down with Mr. Xie and began to eat crab claws. While eating, Wang Mang kept communicating with the blue crab. Since Boss Xie was his pet and there was a spiritual connection between the two, Wang Mang quickly learned of Boss Xie's distress. In the past 2 days, Wang Mang went to the forest to hunt. So Mr. Xie stayed at home to guard the house and protect the vegetable fields in the cave. Recently, Boss Xie actually made some crab friends on the beach. Friend, Wang Mang thought about this word in a daze. He used to have several good friends at Blue Star, all of whom were his besties. Unfortunately, I may never see them again. Wang Mang was a little disappointed. He patted Boss Xie on the back hard and said, Thank you, boss. It's rare for you to have a few friends. I'll help you tomorrow and make sure they don't dare to bully you again. Boss Xie's eyes stood up, shining like stars. He never doubted what Wang Mang said to him. In this way, the sun and the moon alternated, and the next day soon came. Today, Boss Xie went out early and went to find his crab friends. But Wang Mang came to the rocks. This big devil didn't come for a few days, and the reefs returned to their usual liveliness. Wang Mang stood on a high place, his eyes focused, and he instantly spotted an elite blue crab that was more than 10 meters tall. His body swelled suddenly, and the spear in his hand was raised high. Whoosh! With a loud noise, the spear completely penetrated the body of the elite blue crab, killing it instantly. When I first traveled to the desert island, I didn't even dare to take a look at this giant thing. In just a few dozen days, he could kill someone with just one casual blow. With a sigh, Wang Mang put the body of the elite blue crab into his space backpack. In fact, all monster corpses can be directly stored in the space backpack, but that will directly occupy an entire backpack grid, which is very uneconomical. After collecting the body, Wang Meng returned home. Then not far away, I saw Boss Xie and several of his crab friends. I saw Boss Xie chasing after several crab friends to lick him like a licking dog, but others ignored him at all. I don't know if it's because he became Wang Meng's pet or because Boss Xie is too small, but these wild blue crabs don't let him play with him at all. Seeing Boss Xie licking a dog, Wang Meng simply hated the iron and beat his chest. He understands this feeling so well. Licking the dog, licking until there is nothing left. He quickly threw the elite blue crab out of his space backpack, and then used his fists to tell Boss Xia's friends to come over obediently. As soon as a few blue crabs came over, Wang Meng began to show his friendliness and placed the corpse of the elite blue crab in front of them. Then he used coercion and inducement, using the corpse of an elite blue crab as a gift, and soon made Boss Xie become one with them. Wang Meng stood in the distance, looking at Boss Xia's cheerful appearance, with a smile like an old father's face. Boss Xie found his kindred spirits and had a partner. So where are his kind now? Wang Meng looked back at the forest. According to the information obtained in the chat group, some people traveled directly to the forest. So the forest is what he must explore, and he hopes to find similar people. Although he knew that in this place without legal restraint, similar people might be more dangerous and more terrifying. But he must do it. He is so lonely. He wants to find his own kind. With the spear on his back, the young man strode into the forest again. After he left, there was a sudden gust of wind on the sea, and countless waves hit the beach. Beach, reef, sea, sun, forest. Wang Meng wants to find similar people. But in the forest, is it really possible to find other humans? In the forest, among the trees hundreds of meters tall. From time to time, huge creatures shuttled inside. At this time, Wang Meng was lying on a tall tree branch. He peeled off a large piece of bark and fixed it on his back. As long as he lay down on the tree trunk, his whole body seemed to be invisible, completely integrated into the tree trunk. This is a hidden skill he learned on the forum, and it is very practical in the forest. Lying on the tree trunk, his eyes were fixed on a big-mouthed frog below. With his current strength, this 20-meter-plus giant monster is no longer enough to threaten him. But at this moment, he had to be careful. Because opposite the big-mouthed frog, a dark black spider about 7 or 8 meters tall was slowly changing direction. Although the big-mouthed frog is much larger than this spider, it has absolutely no intention of fighting at this time. The huge body of the big-mouthed frog slowly retreated, its whole body trembling. The black spider opposite was its natural enemy. This black spider is not big, only 7 or 8 meters in size. It is dark all over and shines with a metallic luster. Its hind legs are very thick and similar in structure to those of a flea. Every time it moves, its legs make a clicking sound, like a spring accumulating force. Different from ordinary spiders, the front legs of this giant black spider are blade hands like a mantis, which are extremely sharp. It is this body structure that makes this giant black spider a dangerous hunter in this forest. Not only are monsters of the same size no match for it, but even giant creatures like the big-mouthed frog are part of its diet. Suddenly, the black spider moved so fast that Wang Meng could only see a shadow. When the black spider moved, the big-mouthed frog reacted instinctively and ran away desperately. Unfortunately, it's still slow. With just one stagger, one of the big-mouthed frog's legs was completely cut off, and it instantly lost its ability to resist. Wang Meng lay motionless among the tree trunks. He narrowed his eyes slightly and remained motionless, while the black spider below had already begun to enjoy his spoils. This spider is definitely a rare monster. Just like when he killed the giant bird. The last time he killed the giant bird, he opened a skill quality upgrade book directly from the treasure box, which greatly improved his strength. I wonder what good things will be revealed if I kill this black spider. Staring closely at the black spider eating below, his eyes were burning with fighting intent. Intermediate muscle strengthening, intermediate muscle strengthening, intermediate muscle strengthening. Use the little magic bottle. Use the little blue pill. The bone marrow of dragon grouper is used. Intermediate muscles are strengthened 32 times, and the muscle strengthening rate is increased by 1280%. At this time, Wang Mang once again transformed into a muscular monster over 3 meters tall. His whole body was red, and his energy and blood swept through him like a heat wave. And this is not Wang Mang's strongest form. He also reserved 60 points of energy to activate the weapon skill he just acquired, Frog's Breath. Frog's Breath, Frog's Breath. Frog's Breath 4x Superposition. Muscle strengthening is increased again by 80%, and jumping ability is increased by 120%. The activation of Frog Breath caused Wang Mang's figure to expand again. And probably because of the increase in jumping ability, the muscles in his legs were even more swollen this time. From a distance, he actually looks a bit like a large muscular frog. The legs full of muscles were only slightly bent, and they directly pressed the tree trunk under their feet into a large pit with a diameter of several meters. Wang Mang squatted down with his legs, put his fist on the ground with his left hand, and held the spear tightly with his right hand, doing a standard charging jump posture. And at this time, the rare monster black spider in the distance also discovered Wang Mang. Its 8 black eyes stared in Wang Mang's direction, and it instantly entered the highest alert state. Although it didn't know what Wang Mang was, it felt extremely dangerous at this time. This is the keen intuition born from the beast, which has never failed. Thump, 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 in the quiet forest. There was a loud heartbeat like an engine. Veins popped out, muscles swelled, and blood flowed rapidly. Wang Mang's body was like a furnace, and his blood was boiling hot. Every time he releases his full form, his momentum will change drastically, making his sneak attacks more difficult. But it doesn't matter. Only the weak need to use sneak attacks, while the strong only need to be bold. This is the romance that belongs to men. You should feel it. Wang Mang smiled ferociously and spoke slowly to the black spider in the distance. We are both predators, but I am stronger than you. And this is not all my strength. Grinning, showing white teeth. His eyes were burning, and the muscles all over his body began to tremble with excitement. The legs squatted down hard, and the frog shoes on the feet began to slowly emit light. Frog shoes. Every 10 minutes, you can accumulate a charged jump. After use, the next jumping ability can be increased by 100%. As the charged jump started, Wang Mang's leg muscles doubled again, causing the 10-meter thick branch under his feet to instantly collapse. Holding a spear like a dragon, squatting with legs like a frog. All the energy is concentrated at the feet. The secret skills of ancient Chinese martial arts, Dragon and Tiger Gate Tai Chi, the finishing touch. Bang! A red dragon flashed past, and a terrifying sound swept across. Too fast, too fast. There was only a red line of dragon shadow left in the air. Unlike when he hunted the big-mouthed frog before, that time he only had a regular burst, which could only be counted as an ordinary hit. But this time, he put all his strength into it and reached the limit of his strength. It's a serious blow from him. Die to me. The roar resounded across the sky, and wherever the red dragon passed, giant trees burst apart. Boom! With a loud noise, branches several meters in diameter slowly fell from the sky, and countless terrified little monsters fled in all directions. The power just now was really terrifying. A passage was cleared directly in the dense forest. Even though we are all about the same age, why is this two-legged beast so scary? Several little monsters turned back and looked at the muscular monster and the black spider in horror. Their battle was not over yet. Mid-air, after the terrifying blow, Wang Mang stuck the spear on the tree trunk, and his whole body hung there like a huge ape. The black spider is not dead yet. It actually escaped its own fatal blow at a critical moment. Far away, the black crystal spider hung upside down on a branch. Its left knife hand had disappeared and several of its legs were broken. Looking at his injured body, black crystal spider's entire body arched up angrily. It has been running rampant in this forest for many years and has never suffered such a serious injury. Unforgivable. Squeak. A sharp cry, the harsh sound waves turned into substance, and it disappeared in an instant. Countless black shadows flashed rapidly, and black crystal spiders kept jumping between the tree trunks. Every time it jumps, its speed increases by 1 point. Soon, countless black phantoms were darting back and forth on the tree trunks, which was dizzying. Wang Mang hung on the tree trunk, his eyes solemn. This black spider was stronger than he thought. It had just escaped a serious blow from him. But it's more interesting this way. He is even more excited. If you dance, then I will dance too. Wang Meng pushed hard with his legs and suddenly started jumping between tree trunks. This is his strongest state at this time. According to the duration of the skill, he can maintain it for at least half a minute. This black spider has been injured, and now is the best time to kill it. Soon, two afterimages, one black and one red, kept colliding in the forest. Wherever they passed, strong winds blew, branches broke, and leaves fell. A long time. With a spear like a dragon, the huge black spider was instantly nailed to the tree trunk. There is never any desperate counterattack in this world, only careful calculations. After all, the black crystal spider was seriously injured. After more than 10 seconds of high-intensity collision, its wound burst, its speed was significantly weakened, and it soon fell behind. When masters compete with each other, this is a fatal flaw. Looking at the black spider that was still struggling desperately in front of him, Wang Meng jumped back and distanced himself. The beast's counterattack before death is always particularly violent, so he must be more careful. Take out a few 2-meter-long fish bones and throw them hard from a distance, 1 or 2, until the panel gives a beep. Ding! Leap level, kill the rare monster black crystal spider, gain 2,872 experience, and obtain a purple rare treasure chest. Seeing the purple treasure chest floating out of the black spider's body, Wang Meng quickly rushed over, quickly put it into his space backpack, then decomposed the black spider's body, then turned around and left quickly. There was too much noise in the battle just now, and he had to leave here quickly. Wang Meng didn't stop until he was far away and found a tree hole. The muscular giant's body slowly shrank, and Wang Meng turned back into the skinny boy. At this time, there were injuries all over his body, and even a huge bone-deep wound was cut on his left arm. As his muscle condition was relieved, blood began to flow downwards, and he was half kneeling on the ground, panting. Opening the attribute panel, his physical strength has become 46/63, slight injury, continuous bleeding. Is there any mistake? My arm was almost cut off, and you told me it was a minor injury. He shook his head, took out a blood spirit fruit from his space backpack and ate it. Wang Meng's wounds began to heal quickly. After a minute, he moved his body and he was almost recovered. If it weren't for the blood spirit fruit, he would definitely not have continued fighting after failing to kill the black crystal spider in one blow. Because fighting such a powerful monster head-on will inevitably lead to injuries. And being injured on this desert island full of monsters is not a good thing. Thinking back to the battle just now, he was still too impulsive. But this is also related to his character. When he was a child, his character was relatively cowardly and he was always bullied at school. But since his father changed his name, his personality suddenly changed. If someone bullies him, he will become like a madman and will pay back tenfold. Although his impulsiveness made his teachers and classmates dislike him even more, no one dared to bully him since then. Wang Meng. The second half of his life has always been characterized by recklessness. Although he is usually careful and cautious, and takes steps step by step. But at his core, he is still a very adventurous person. Especially when he released his muscles, the feeling of full strength all over his body made him unable to help pushing everything. Chapter 51. However, Wang Meng did not regret his impulse just now. In this world full of monsters, if you don't work hard at all, you can't survive or grow into a strong person. After withdrawing his thoughts, Wang Meng took out the purple treasure box from his space backpack. His eyes were shining and his eyes were eager. This was the first time he had ever opened a purple quality treasure chest. Excitedly, he opened the treasure chest, and a purple light burst out, and several items soon appeared in front of him. Ding! Get a black crystal spider egg, purple rare. Pet egg, black crystal spider. Quality, purple rare. Effect, at a suitable temperature, rare black crystal spiders can be hatched. Rating, 3.5 stars. Ding! Get 3 level 2 experience books. Type, experience book. Quality, blue excellent. Effect, after use, you will instantly gain 1000 experience points. Evaluation, 2 stars. Ding! Get 12 copies of blue quality black crystal. Material, black quartz. Type, ore. Quality, blue excellent. Effect, can be used to build equipment, repair equipment, and strengthen equipment. Rating, 2 stars. Ding! Get a seed from the Lingmi tree. Seed of Lingmi tree. Quality, blue excellent. Effect, after planting, a spiritual rice tree can grow. When the spiritual rice tree matures, it can produce 3 to 5 kilograms of spiritual rice in each cycle. After taking Lingmi, you can recover energy quickly. After the plant dies, it will turn back into seeds and can be planted again. The flesh and blood of monster corpses can accelerate growth and fruit production. Evaluation 2.5 stars. Looking at the large pile of items in front of him, Wang Meng was a little disappointed. It would be nice to have a more powerful skill book, but it's a pity. Pick up the spirit rice tree and spider pet egg, these two are considered the best things in it. It's okay to be able to get pets. Just think of raising more pets to relieve boredom, and they are purple and rare quality. But this black crystal spider's egg should be much more powerful than Boss Xie, right? After hunting so many monsters on the desert island, countless treasure chests were opened. This was the second time besides Boss Xie that he had discovered pets. Satisfied, he put the egg of the black crystal spider back into his space backpack, and then picked up the seed of the spiritual rice tree. This blue quality seed is actually spiritual rice that can restore energy. Isn't this what I am lacking? For a long time, although his inherent talent was extremely strong, his energy limited his upper limit. Therefore, as long as it is an item that can restore energy or increase the upper limit of energy, it will enhance his strength in disguised form. I wonder what the recovery effect of this spiritual rice is. It would be great if it could restore energy instantly like the bone marrow of Dragon Grouper. After collecting the seeds of the Lingmi tree and putting several other items into his space backpack, Wang Meng turned around and left the forest. Today's hunting was almost over, and he was a little tired from the battle just now. Running wildly all the way, Wang Meng soon arrived at the door of his house. Boss Xie didn't come out to greet him today. He probably went to play with his friends. Wang Meng shook his head. This kid must be taught a lesson when he comes back. All I do is play every day. Who will look after the vegetable garden at home? After moving the stone from the door, Wang Meng suddenly stopped as soon as he entered the house. He took a step back, his eyes wide open, his face full of disbelief, unable to believe the facts in front of him. Thank you, boss. What are you doing? Wang Meng roared loudly, frightening the two crabs across from him and quickly separated. It's obviously not the mating season yet, but Boss Xie is actually with a female crab. Ah, this is at my house. The delicate-looking female crab hurriedly crawled past Wang Meng and quickly slipped out without a trace. Boss Xie also crawled to Wang Meng's side uneasily. His eyes were pitiful, like a child who had done something wrong. Night. Wang Meng sat beside the bed. Boss Xie was hiding in the corner of the door, his face full of innocence. Wang Meng glanced at it, hating that iron could not turn into steel. Thank you, boss, your father and I raised you up by pooping and peeing. You actually did such an embarrassing thing. Quote, you actually brought a female crab back to mess with me while I wasn't at home. Do you know that your father and I are still guarding our precious first time and have never even touched a girl's hand? The more Wang Meng said, the more depressed he became. He felt like he was living worse than a crab. Thank you, boss, I misjudged you. Yesterday I thought you were looked down upon by other crabs, so I went to help you. In the end, you actually asked me to help you pick up girls. You let me down so much. Quote. After Wang Meng finished speaking, he lay down in the quilt and covered his whole head. He's so bullying that he even lost his virginity to a crab, and he doesn't know how long he will be single. Woo woo woo. The second day, Wang Meng rarely went out hunting. He planted the seeds of the Lingmi tree in the vegetable garden, then found a good place, took out the eggs of the black crystal spider, and hatched them carefully. Boss Xia's first child has been exhausted, and he is ready to hatch a second child immediately and seamlessly. Boss Xia seemed to feel something. He ran to the vegetable garden and crawled around uneasily. Billy, when did the master bring back an egg? Did he want to hatch a female crab for me? Wang Meng glanced at it and kicked it to the ground. You brat, you disappointed me yesterday. From now on, you will guard the house for me and don't bring any crabs in again. Pointing to the vegetable garden in front of him and the black gold spider egg next to it, he warned again. If this egg and the vegetable garden are harmed in any way, I will turn you brat into spicy crabs when I come back. When Boss Xie heard this, he was so frightened that he stood upright and nodded repeatedly. After Wang Mang arranged his home, he ran to the door, activated his muscle mode, moved a huge stone, and blocked the entire door tightly. It may take several days for the black crystal spider to hatch. He cannot stay here all the time, so whenever he goes hunting recently, the gate must be completely sealed. He's definitely not jealous that Boss Xie has a girlfriend, it's just daily prudence. After repeatedly confirming that Boss Xie couldn't get out, Wang Mang nodded with satisfaction, turned around and ran towards the forest. Hunt, hunt, hunt. The life on the desert island was so simple and unpretentious. Wang Mang spent several days hunting. His fighting skills are becoming more and more proficient, and his efficiency in killing monsters is becoming higher and higher. At this time, in the forest, a few flashes of white light flashed, and the monsters and insects that were flying in front of them were all stuck on the tree trunks with fish bones. Among all hunting methods, Wang Mang's favorite is javelin throwing. This method is not only powerful, but also very efficient. If the muscle mode is turned on, he can throw the javelin casually, which is even more terrifying than the missile. After decomposing the monster corpse in front of him, Wang Mang opened his attribute panel and looked at the experience value column. Level LV9 23,456 25,600. He still has more than 2,000 experience points before he can upgrade to level 10. However, when I looked back at the sky, I saw that the sun was already setting, and I was afraid it was too late today. After packing his things, he quickly left the forest and returned home. Since the last time, Boss Xie has become much more honest and stays by the vegetable garden every day. However, his girlfriend comes to the door every day and barks. She is quite infatuated. When Wang Mang walked to the vegetable garden, he got angry when he saw Boss Xie and kicked him to the ground. If you're such a coward, why do you still have other women? It's totally unacceptable. He's so handsome and he's still single. He looked down at his 8-pack abs, and then at his second brother between his legs. The second brother still has unique skills. It's a pity that it is of no use. Sighing, he couldn't think too much, otherwise he would become stiff. He quickly turned his mind to farming. The lingmi tree in the vegetable garden has grown to 1 meter high and is full of green. It is estimated that it will bear fruit in a few days. The blood spirit tree has produced 4 more fruits, and there are several more fruits in the vegetable garden. Under the blood spirit tree, the black crystal spider's egg moves from time to time, and the frequency is getting faster and faster. It should be born soon. Wang Mang took out a large amount of monster meat from his space backpack, then cut it into pieces and spread them in the vegetable garden. These pieces of meat can provide energy to accelerate the growth of plants, and they also seem to promote the hatching of black crystal spider eggs. After finishing this, he heated up the pot and started cooking today's dinner. Wash and cut a frog leg as big as a car, throw it into an oyster pot the size of a bathtub, then add green peppers, tomatoes, potatoes and homemade bean paste. Simmer over high heat for 2 hours, then add cucumber and coriander when the pot is boiling. Perfect. I added one for myself and Boss Xie, and just as I was about to start eating, there was a sound of shell breaking. Wang Mang turned around and was overjoyed. The sombre spider has finally hatched. Wang Mang dropped the rice bowl and walked quickly to the vegetable garden. Sure enough, he saw a crystal clear white jade spider crawling on the trunk of the blood spirit tree. When it was born, it was the size of a basin, its body was as transparent as white jade, and its 8 black eyes sparkled like gems. So beautiful, why do you feel like a spider? With the arrival of Wang Mang, the black crystal spider jumped and landed on his shoulder, conveying joyful thoughts. It's so fast. It's just been born. It's indeed a rare monster. Wang Mang sighed and quickly started to check the black gold spider's panel. Pet black crystal spider mutated. Growth infancy period. Quality purple rare. Level LV1 1/100. Physique 12. Spirit 10. Energy 50. Talent. Extreme speed. Movement speed and reaction speed are permanently increased by 30%. Super jump. Permanently increases jumping ability by 50%. Super strong. Physical fitness and defense are permanently increased by 40%. Skills. Skill 1. Black spider vision. Permanently visible at night. After consuming energy, you will have heat sensing vision and dynamic vision. Skill 2. Charged bounce. Consumes a certain amount of energy to increase the next jumping ability by 150%, with a cooling time of 10 seconds. Skill 3. Crystallization. Consumes a certain amount of energy, increases body strength by 60%, increases body defense and toughness by 40%, lasts for 120 seconds, and has a 10-minute cooling time. Introduction. Mutated from billions of black spiders, it has extremely high potential and has a certain chance of evolving to the Lord level. Rating 3.5 stars. Wang Meng looked at the crystal-clear black crystal spider in front of him, his eyes full of doting. Purple rare quality pets are indeed extraordinary. In comparison, Boss Xie is simply garbage. Wang Meng snorted coldly as he glanced at Boss Xie, who crept over to watch carefully. You brat, from the moment you lost your virginity, you lost my love. Holding the black gold spider in his arms, he picked up Boss Xie's dinner plate. Now that his little cutie is born, you, the little kid, won't have a share of this elaborate meal. The black crystal spider has a very large appetite, and Boss Xia's dozens of kilograms of food were quickly eaten by it. After eating, it was still a bit unsatisfied, so it ran to eat all its own eggshells. After it was full, its body began to change rapidly, and its crystal-clear body suddenly turned into a small black carbon, pitch black. ? This change made Wang Meng confused. What happened? His cute spider is gone. How did he turn into a little black guy? Isn't this too dark? Are you the Shishi version of Spider-Man? Holding the little Haiden in front of him, Wang Meng's face was full of doubts about life. If she becomes a spider girl in the future, will she be a black girl? Ah, I don't want a black girl. Just like that, under the night sky, there was a new partner in the cave. The next day, Wang Meng packed up his luggage and ran quickly on the beach. Behind him, a small black spider followed closely, running happily. Players will be online tomorrow, and he can almost reach level 10 today. He must seize the time and reach level 10 before the player comes online. Based on his usual experience in playing online games, level 10 is generally a threshold. As long as it is reached, the strength will be greatly improved. Only when his strength improves can he explore more parts of the forest, so that he has greater hope of finding other players on the deserted island. Stepping into the forest, the hunt begins again. However, unlike before, this time there was a small black spider following him. While Wang Meng was hunting monsters, he was guiding little spider to learn hunting techniques. Hunt, hunt, hunt. In this way, the sun set to the west until dusk. When the last monster fell at Wang Meng's feet, light flashed and Wang Meng finally reached level 10. Soon, the property panel began to make a continuous ding sound. Ding, kill the mushroom bug, gain 6 experience points, and raise the level to LV10. Ding, congratulations to the player for becoming the first player in this group to reach level 10. He will be rewarded with a purple quality random treasure box. Ding, congratulations to the player for becoming the first player in the world to reach level 10. You will be rewarded with a gold quality random treasure box. Ding, World Channel, congratulations to the player who successfully reached level 10. The closed beta of the Monster World online game has ended. In 24 hours, the game will officially begin global beta testing. Ding, World Channel, please note that in 24 hours, the game will officially begin global beta testing. Looking at the attributes and the information that kept jumping on the panel, Wang Meng's eyes widened. He didn't have time to take a closer look at the purple treasure box and golden treasure box mentioned in the message. Is the closed beta over? In 24 hours, the global open beta will start. What is going on? I just leveled up. Why did it seem like I suddenly opened Pandora's box? What happens in the global open beta? Is it possible that the entire Blue Star population will travel through time to this monster game world? At the same time, Blue Star, global announcements began to arrive on all player panels around the world. Ding, World Channel, congratulations to the player who successfully reached level 10. The closed beta of the Monster World online game has ended. In 24 hours, the game will officially begin global beta testing. Ding, World Channel, please note that in 24 hours, the game will officially begin global beta testing. And this news soon spread crazily on the internet through players, sweeping the world in an instant. An hour later, global riots began. Wars, demonstrations, soaring crime rates, looting of supplies. Humanity around the world is in dire straits. The end of the world has not yet begun, and human beings have already started killing each other. The only country that is still barely stable is China. Because only China united most of the super players at the beginning, it controlled the source of chaos from the beginning. However, it is just barely maintaining stability. Chaos has also begun to appear throughout the country of China, with looting of supplies and disgusting hoarding of goods still occurring everywhere. At this time, in the highest conference hall of China, everyone present frowned. Why are there suddenly level 10 players? Isn't the world's highest player only level 4? Our deployment has just begun, and many aspects are not ready yet. What exactly does the open beta of the game mean? Will we really allow everyone to travel through time? But aren't those babies and old people who will definitely die if they travel through time? We just got a call from representatives from the beautiful country. They have been asking about level 10 players. They suspect that we are hiding something. In the entire conference room, everyone and I were talking, and there was a lot of discussion. Usually they are serious about words and cherish words like gold, but now everyone is a little nervous. Recently, because of the players' affairs, all of them have been reading various imaginary novels online. Each of them has read at least 100 books about national time travel and awakening SSS powers. Don't tell me, I'm pretty good after watching too much. But in reality, if the open beta of the game is really a time travel for all, then their small bodies are not big enough for those monsters. The old man sitting in the main seat shook his head. He looked at the big screen in front of him, his eyes fixed on the young man who was hunting on the screen. Currently, the strongest super player in China has just reached level 4, and is still far from level 10. If anyone in this world really reaches level 10, it is definitely the ordinary boy in the video, the only player who has fully entered the game world. The old man sitting in the main seat knocked on the table, and the entire conference hall fell silent instantly. Stop arguing. Now that something has happened, let us face it bravely. From now on, start executing the Spark plan in advance. Even if the end of the world really comes, we Chinese people must survive until the end. As the old man's words fell, there was no other sound in the entire conference room. The old man turned back and looked at the boy in the video. Player 0, the only outlier in the world. Is your appearance the hope of mankind? The scene changes. The only level 10 player in the world, the legendary 0, the hope of mankind. At this time, he was squatting on the ground, rubbing his palms and laughing. Wang Meng looked at the treasure box in front of him with an excited expression. Needless to say, there is no need to talk about the purple quality treasure chests. So far, only the black crystal spider has exploded one. As for the gold quality treasure chest, he had never even seen it before. These are all good things, and every time the system gives you a treasure chest, you can always find various rare treasures. Rubbing his palms together, he opened the gold quality treasure box. The light flashed and a pile of items appeared in front of him. And a golden light among these items instantly attracted Wang Meng's attention. Ding! Get a full career transfer card. Item all career job change card. Quality Golden Legend. Introduction Rewards from the Sea of End, which contain various inheritances. Effect After use, you can choose any one among all professions and hidden professions. The choice of career must meet its prerequisites. Rating 4 stars. Wang Meng looked at the golden card in his hand and was ecstatic. Sure enough, there are various professions in this game world. And with this all-career change card, you can actually choose any career. So what are you waiting for? Use. As Wang Meng finished speaking, a golden light rushed into his forehead instantly. Soon, Wang Meng entered a space of thoughts. In this space, he seemed to be in a sea of stars, surrounded by all kinds of starlight. He could feel that every ray of starlight was a kind of professional inheritance. And now he can choose any of them. As he continued to look and search in this starlight, he soon discovered something. In fact, there are only more than 1,000 types of these professional inheritances in total. And it can be roughly divided into 3 categories: basic professions, hidden professions, and unique professions. Among them, basic professions have the lowest initial job transfer requirements, but have the most branches, and there are also various advanced professions. For example, there are more than a dozen advanced professions for junior fire magicians. Although the basic profession is not strong in the early stage, it also has strong potential in the later stage as it continues to advance. Secondly, it is to hide the profession. Compared with basic professions, hidden professions have higher requirements, and their strength increases after changing professions. Moreover, the transfer of hidden professions must have the corresponding inheritance book, otherwise the transfer will not be successful. At the same time, the advancement method of hidden professions is relatively simple, with one and only one fixed advancement direction. Finally, it is the only profession. This profession is very rare. The choice is only available through a full career transfer letter. And as long as a unique profession is chosen, it will disappear from the inheritance star C. Unless the chosen one dies, no one can obtain this profession again. Wang Meng looked at the erratic sea of stars in front of him and made a decision instantly without hesitation. He expressed his needs directly with his thoughts. Soon, all the unique professions flew to his side, a total of 24. From the known information, it is obvious that the only profession is the rarest existence, and he will not choose it unless he has a problem in his head. While checking all the unique professions, Wang Meng was thinking in his mind. He was able to level up so quickly and become so strong. In addition to his own efforts, he relied more on his own inherent talent. Your own inherent talent. No cooldown superposition, which allows you to release skills without cooling down, and the status effects of releasing skills continue to superimpose. This talent can be said to be a bug-level existence, so when choosing a career, he should choose a career that is completely suitable for his talent. This profession must have energy expertise, and the professional skills must have powerful amplification skills. These professions are so awesome, I seem to want them all. Soon, he had finished reading 24 unique professions. At the same time, just to be cautious, he also spent several hours reading all the hidden professions. There are several professions among which he is very excited. After hesitating for a long time, he finally made up his mind. From all the professions, the only profession is definitely the most special profession. After finally getting a full career transfer card, I must not let go of the opportunity to choose my only career. He picked up the golden career selection card, looked nervous, and spoke slowly. Change to Possession, Fusion, Summoner. As soon as he finished speaking, the golden card exploded instantly, and countless rays of light enveloped it. Occupation, Possession, Fusion, Summoner. Job transfer requirements: 100 pieces of purple materials, 100,000 gold coins, and a pet. Simplified requirements for full career job transfer card. Introduction: the summoner who lives in the supreme god realm can possess spirits of all things in the world and merge them to strengthen himself. Ding! 100 purple materials and 100,000 gold coins have been consumed, and the job transfer was successful. Ding! Congratulations to the player for becoming a spirit enchantment, fusion, and summoner. As the light from the golden card dissipated, Wang Meng felt comfortable all over. He could feel that his physique and spirit had been strengthened to a certain extent, and his whole body was full of energy. I excitedly opened the properties panel, and its data changed dramatically. Character: Wang Meng. Inherent talent: no cold superposition. Passive skill: there is no cooldown when releasing skills, and the status effects of releasing skills can continue to superimpose. Rating: 6 stars beyond the devil level. Level: LV10, 251,200. Physique: 96, 75 plus 21. Spirit: 63, 28 plus 35. Energy: 315, 165 plus 150. The limit for ordinary humans is 10 points. Occupation: Possession, Fusion, Summoner, Elementary. Professional skills: Professional talent and skill. Holy enchantment. Effect: by consuming a large amount of materials and gold coins, you can perform divine enchantment on the summoned beast, permanently enhancing the summoned beast's talent potential. Cooldown: 1 terminal tide. Skill 1, Space Summoning House. The possessed summoner can create a space summoning house for his summoned beast. After successful production, the summoned beast will be bound to the summoning house, will automatically return after death, and enter the cooling time. After the cooling time is over, a certain amount of energy can be consumed to summon it again. At the same time, when the summoned beast is in the summoning room, its life and energy recovery speed increases by 200%. Note: Currently, up to 3 space summoning houses can be created. Resurrection cooldown time is 24 hours. Skill 2, Shared. The summoner can draw the life and energy of all summoned beasts at any time to supplement himself. Skill 3, Super Possession. It consumes 200 energy points to perform super enchantment on itself and the summoned beast, increasing all attributes of the target by 30%, physical resistance by 30%, elemental resistance by 30%, and toughness by 30%. Mental resistance increases by 30%, and 1% of physical fitness and 1% of energy are restored every second. The duration is 60 seconds and the cooling time is 30 minutes. Skill 4, Summoning, Fusion, and Spirit Enchantment. When the summoned beast is in the summoning room, you can directly summon the spirit to fuse and strengthen the designated summoned creature with itself, and obtain the summoned beast's talents, traits, and skills. Note: big move. The duration is 5 minutes and the cooling time is 24 hours. This is the inheritance of the Junior Spirit Summoner. After obtaining the source of the world, you can advance your profession and obtain more inheritance. General Skills. Skill 1. Intermediate Muscle Strengthening. Consumes 10 points of energy to increase the muscle strength of the whole body by 40%, with a duration of 120 and a cooling time of 10 minutes. Rating: 2 stars. Skill 2. None. Skill 3. None. Looking at his long panel, Wang Meng was satisfied. All basic attributes have received corresponding increases. There are 2 main reasons why he chose this career. One is the innate skill of possession, fusion, and summoner. Among all the more than 1,000 professions, only 2 professions have a terminal tide in the cooldown of their talent skills. Although he doesn't understand what the terminal tide is, just because he doesn't understand, this skill must be very awesome. Another reason is that the 123 skills of the Spirit Summoner are all related to energy recovery. Especially the skill, Super Possession. Ever since he awakened his talent, he has never used his talent to its full potential. The main reason is that the energy is never enough. The Spirit Summoner is one of the few professions that can restore energy by a percentage. The combination of Skill 1 and Skill 2 allows him to extract the energy of summoned beasts, which is equivalent to bringing several big blue bottles. And he also has a 600% energy recovery speed in disguise. In the future, as your career advances, you may be able to create more summoning houses, and the energy recovery speed will continue to increase. Secondly, and most importantly, Professional Skill 3 is the only one among more than 1,000 professional skills that can restore energy by percentage. Although it can only restore 1% of energy per second, and the cooling time is too long. But he has talent. As long as the initial energy is enough, he can stack this amplification skill at least 60 times. 60 times, then 60% of the energy can be restored every second. Moreover, this skill also comes with various attributes and a percentage increase in total resistance. This is a perfect match for my talent. Retracting the panel, Wang Meng looked at Little Spider and Boss Xie in front of him with excitement. He had just changed jobs and was still a summoner. He decided to immediately try the professional talent skill, Holy Enchantment, he had just acquired. This skill looks awesome at first glance, and the introduction says that it can increase the pet's talent potential after use. And he urgently needs to test whether his inherent talent can refresh this skill. If it can really be refreshed, then it may have countless pets with god-level talents. Just thinking about it makes my blood boil. After taking a look at Boss Xie in front of him, Wang Meng curled his lips and forget about this young man. He moved his gaze to the Little Spider, and his eyes instantly shone with excitement. Holy Spirit! Ding! 100 purple materials and 100,000 gold coins were consumed, and the skill was successfully activated. Wang Meng raised his chin, narrowed his eyes slightly, pointed forward with the middle finger in his hand, and assumed what he thought was the most handsome pose. A ray of white light gathered at his fingertips, and instantly rushed towards the Little Spider in front of him. These white lights turned into silk threads, wrapped up the Little Spiders, and suddenly formed a white cocoon. It took an hour before the Little Spider emerged from the cocoon. Wang Meng walked around it and felt that there was no change, but it seemed to be getting darker. Are you mistaken? That's it. I thought a spider lady would crawl out. Sighing, Wang Meng shook his head in disappointment. This potential evolution was a bit different from what he imagined. Shouldn't everyone be effeminate? What a disappointment. Open the little spider's panel, but the little spider's panel has changed. Pet black crystal spider mutated. Growth infancy period. Quality purple rare. Level LV5. Physique 36. Spirit 21. Energy 135. Talent. Extreme speed. Movement speed and reaction speed are permanently increased by 40%. Super jump. Permanently increases jumping ability by 60%. Super strong. Physical fitness and defense are permanently increased by 50%. Skills. Skill 1. Black spider vision, permanently visible at night. After consuming energy, you will have heat sensing vision and dynamic vision. Skill 2. Charged bounce, consumes a certain amount of energy to increase the next jumping ability by 150%, with a cooling time of 10 seconds. Skill 3. Crystallization, consumes a certain amount of energy, increases body strength by 60%, increases body defense and toughness by 40%, lasts for 120 seconds, and has a 10-minute cooling time. Skill 4. Black silk, it consumes energy and can spit out black spider silk, which has extremely strong toughness. Introduction. Mutated from billions of black spiders, it has extremely high potential and has a high chance of evolving to the Lord level. Rating 4 stars. Wang Meng looked at the little spider's panel and found that all its attributes had been enhanced to a certain extent. The increase in talent skills had also increased, and there was an additional skill, black silk. The rating also increased to 4 stars. Especially in the final evaluation, there was originally a certain chance of advancing to the Lord level, but now it has become a high chance of advancing to the Lord level. Although he didn't know what the Lord level represented, he must be awesome. Open your own panel and look at your professional talents and skills. Sure enough, there is no cooling time. Professional talents and skills, divine enchantment, have been infinitely refreshed. Wang Meng lowered his head and raised the corners of his mouth slightly, which soon gradually widened. Ha 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 ha, I'm invincible. As long as he has this skill, he can mass-produce pets with various god-level talents. By then this deserted island will be nothing more than that. Wang Meng's arrogant laughter soon sounded in the cave, and he was ecstatic. But with a smile, he soon became decadent and lay on the bed like a deflated rubber ball. So what if he is invincible? On this desert island, he can't even find someone to show off. In fact, when he awakened his inherent talent, he was already destined to be invincible. It's just a matter of time. Heat the pot and heat oil. So what if he becomes invincible? He still has to make a fire and cook by himself. We still have to live like a caveman. With this thought, he quickly calmed down. Even if you are invincible, life must go on. I have been busy for a long time and dinner is finally ready. Today's dinner is fried crabs with tomatoes and braised frog meat. Recently, he doesn't dare to eat oysters anymore. If he eats too much, he can't bear it at night. You see, even if he is invincible, he doesn't dare to eat more oysters, otherwise the house might be broken by him one morning. Well, players will go online tomorrow. I wonder what will happen after the open beta of the game. Will everyone in Blue Star really travel through time? Wang Meng looked at the night outside, worried. In fact, he blames himself a bit. If he really travels across the world, many people will probably die by then. And he will be the culprit of all this. Well, you can't blame me, I'm just an ordinary person struggling to survive. If you want to blame, just blame the being behind the scenes who pulled us into the game. Wang Meng looked at the night outside with mixed feelings, but he had nothing to regret. Even if he doesn't reach level 10, there will always be players who will. What is supposed to come will come. The sea breeze blew by, disturbing the young man's heart. Tonight, Wang Meng had no sleep all night. At this time, there are 18 hours left before the open beta countdown. At this time, Blue Star, the radio station, kept broadcasting. According to the latest reports, since 6 hours ago, black restricted areas have appeared in various parts of the world. Our country has also appeared in 14 places. Please evacuate the surrounding residents as soon as possible. Please evacuate as soon as possible. Quote. We have dispatched the country's top scientific team and the most elite special forces to collaborate with super players and are actively exploring the black restricted area. Please don't panic and believe in science. It is forbidden to spread rumors. It is forbidden to spread rumors. The era of spiritual recovery is coming. Notice, notice. All residents are asked to prepare survival materials and try to go to official shelters. Please be sure to go within 18 hours and prepare all kinds of supplies. Quote. Hello everyone, I am your survival anchor. Today I will teach you various survival skills in the wild. Please study hard. During these 6 hours, survival information was broadcast everywhere in China through various social media, live broadcasts, short videos, and radio stations. In less than a month, the world suddenly became magical. Many people began to pack up their supplies and headed to the officially designated gathering place. There are also some people who are hiding at home and holding on to a sense of luck with their families. Zhang Zheng's mother had just received a call from her son, so she hurriedly prepared to go to a nearby official shelter. As soon as I went out, all the neighbors from the surrounding vegetable market came up with large bags and small bags. Zhang Shang, what the hell is going on? Your son is a superpower, you must know something, right? Zhang Zheng's mother looked at the neighbor she had known for more than 10 years, sighed, and opened her mouth to explain. Xiao Shang just called me and said that he was talking about time travel, different worlds and so on. I don't understand it. But in 3 hours, the live broadcast will be started across the country, and everyone will know by then. Now, the Chinese government is just guessing. No one knows exactly what will happen in 18 hours. I suggest everyone go to the shelter as soon as possible. After saying that, she left in a hurry. And at this time, in the 826 secret base, important news is being passed on one after another. Report. Monsters hidden in rivers and no man's land across the country have suddenly appeared, and they are heading collectively to the black restricted area. Quote. The special magnetic field in the black restricted area is constantly strengthening, and all the drones we entered have fallen. Report. All the expedition troops in the number 3 black zone have disappeared. Report. The latest news from the laboratory, they detected special substances in the air near the black restricted area. These substances can promote the rapid evolution of various organisms. Report. There is a large-scale incident of superpowers injuring people in City B. Requesting for support. Li Yong looked at the large amount of information in front of him, each one was very important. He rubbed his head, feeling a little confused. He suddenly felt that he was old. The world was changing so fast that he couldn't understand it at all. Picking up the report in his hand, this is the latest analysis report just sent to him by the think tank. In 3 hours, he will start to explain it live to everyone. To be honest, the content in this report is too magical, and it is not much different from those imagination novels. I don't know, after more than 10 hours, where will the future destiny of our species be? Soon, 3 hours flew by. Li Yong stood in front of the big screen, wearing his favorite military uniform and medals on his chest. These are all his achievements and honors. As a soldier, even if the world ends, he will wear a military uniform and die standing. He sat upright, gave a military salute to the screen, and spoke slowly. Hello everyone, my name is Li Yong, and I am a major general from China. I believe you must be confused as to what is going on in this world. Today, I will solve the mystery for you. Just 9 hours ago, super players received a piece of information. According to the analysis of our top think tank, after more than 10 hours, there is a 40% chance that everyone travels to another world. There is a 50% chance that monsters from another world will fully invade Blue Star. Maybe it is an alien invasion. Anyway, nothing good will happen for sure. I can only say that mankind has really reached a moment of life and death. I only hope that we, the descendants of Yan and Huang, can overcome this difficulty. Please be sure to go to various gathering points in the next 10 hours and protect yourself and your family as much as possible. Please wait for our good news. At this time, there are still 15 hours left before the public beta of the game. Xuanshan Super High School. Principal Chen stood at the school gate and watched several pickup trucks slowly move away. These people are all super players who are leaving. They hope to be with their families in the last 10 hours. In Principal Chen's opinion, this is a very unwise approach. Because if all the people traveled across time, they wouldn't be able to do anything even if they went back. And if there is an invasion by monsters from another world, concentrating here will help us deal with it better. More people can be saved at the same time. But he also respects their choice. After all, not everyone is willing to sacrifice their own family to protect everyone else. Looking back at the remaining players, Principal Chen shed tears of relief. These remaining children are all good. In the training room, uncharacteristically, the players were not training, but were all chatting. Hey, Zhang Xiaolong, why don't you go home? Oh, my parents died early, and I am the only one at home. It doesn't matter whether I go back or not. What about you? Why don't you go home? Absolutely. My parents are divorced, and my grandma died. Anyway, I can feed myself and the whole family is not hungry. Mingzi, why don't you go home? It's the same, it's also a divorce. Living with my stepfather, it's unnecessary to go back. After several people finished speaking, they all fell silent. Who doesn't want to go home at this time? Haha, I think it's good to be here. I used to want to be a soldier, and then make friends with a group of brothers who have gone through life and death, and live a passionate life. I didn't expect that it would actually come true. Seeing Zhang Xiaolong's heartless look, Li Ming shook his head. He would rather go back to being an otaku and live an ordinary life. It would be too dangerous to fight and kill. Li Ming turned on his phone. At this time, news about the game's public beta was being discussed everywhere on the internet. The second dimension, the new heroes in mobile games, and the fresh meat with low traffic have all lost their popularity. Almost everyone was discussing what would happen more than 10 hours later. I think it should be an invasion of monsters. A dozen black restricted areas suddenly appeared on Blue Star. This must be a precursor to the invasion of another world. I also think that if everyone really traveled through time, this thing wouldn't happen at all. Holy crap, my home is right next to a black restricted area. I just bought the house with full payment. I think everyone will definitely travel through time. You see, don't those super players just travel directly through time? Li Ming looked at the discussion on the internet and wanted to know. Is it a monster invasion? Or is it time travel for all? At this time, there are still 10 hours left before the public beta of the game. China, 14 black restricted areas are located outside. A large number of Chinese troops began to gather one after another. Countless armed forces began to set up minefields and trenches outside the black zone. A large number of heavy weapons, missile vehicles, heavy armored vehicles, tanks, etc. have appeared one after another. This is also the official preparation. At present, the expert think tank is more inclined to the invasion of monsters from another world. After all, there is no reason why this black restricted area suddenly appeared. Although thermal weapons cannot completely kill the monsters in the game world, they still have to try. After all, the rules may change after the public beta. Even if they really can't be killed in the end, they still have to buy time for the people behind them. At the same time, China has countless long-range missiles ready, and they are ready to launch at any time. At this time, there are only 3 hours left before the public beta of the game. Endless Beach. Wang Mang sat on the boulder in front of his home. He didn't sleep all night yesterday, waiting for the public beta of the game to start. Boss Xie crawled over and looked at Wang Mang worriedly. Since yesterday, he has felt that something is wrong with his owner. Is it still because of what happened with Mimi last time? Otherwise, share your breasts with the owner next time. Mimi probably won't mind. Boss Xie ran home, picked a big watermelon from the vegetable garden, and then handed it to Wang Mang with a bang. The master used to like to eat fruit the most, and he would definitely be happy if he ate it. The little spider also crawled into Wang Mang's arms and kept rubbing against him. They have the same mind, and they can feel Wang Mang's uneasiness. Wang Mang smiled, picked up the big watermelon handed over by Boss Xie and started eating it. He was indeed worried. The public beta of the game is about to begin, and the rules of the game will definitely undergo major changes. And can this change allow him to return to Blue Star? He has stayed on this desert island for too long. Although he only stayed for more than a month, he felt as if he had been there for more than a year. The longer he stayed on this desert island, the more he felt that something was wrong with it. In this desert island, there seems to be some kind of negative pollution eating away at him. He could feel that his emotions were becoming increasingly unstable. He becomes increasingly sad, easily agitated, and suddenly violent. If the changes in the public beta of the game still fail to allow him to return to Blue Star, then he may really be trapped in this game world for the rest of his life. He could only pray that the public beta of the game would have a function similar to returning to the city. Otherwise, time passed by minute by minute. At this time, there are only a few seconds left before the public beta of the game. Soon, the panel's beeps kept ringing. Ding, the game update is over and the open beta of the monster game has officially begun. Ding, 81 copies of the game have been updated around the world, officially entering the era of universal gaming. Ding, Chapter 1 of the monster game, Resurrection of Spiritual Energy has officially begun. Ding, the career system is unlocked, and a career change point will appear at the global dungeon entrance. Bite. As the reminder sounds continued to appear, Wang Meng's heart began to sink. No, no, no. All hints are related to Blue Star, and there is no mention of any panel changes. There was no return to the city, no mention of how to get back to Blue Star. He opened the panel, nothing changed. The public beta of the game is all about changes to Blue Star, who seems to have been forgotten by everyone. He could never go back to Blue Star. He would never see his family and friends again. He will be trapped on this island for the rest of his life. Until death. The sea breeze blew by, and the young man suddenly felt a huge loneliness approaching him. The surrounding air slowly turned into ink-colored seawater, swallowing him up and dragging him into the abyss. Boss Xie and Little Spider looked anxiously at Wang Meng in front of them. At this time, black mist began to flow from Wang Meng's body. These black mists spread in circles, layer by layer, like ripples. In the black mist, there seemed to be countless murmurs, sometimes crying, sometimes lamenting, which was strange and depraved. Wang Meng felt that the whole world around him was dark. If you can't go back, what's the point of living alone on this desert island? It's better to just die like this. Darkness began to encroach, covering his legs, his hands, his torso. Countless densely packed black square shadows began to climb up his body like insects, slowly covering the entire head. Sudden, Wang Meng's last uncovered eye suddenly opened. In front of him, his father's smiling face appeared. Son, remember, your name is Wang Meng. If you are unhappy, just be Meng. Yes, my name is Wang Meng. My name is Wang Meng. I surpass you. I am Wang Meng. Super possessed spirit. 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 Use the little magic bottle. Use the little blue pill. The bone marrow of Dragon Grouper is used. Super possession 10 times superposition. All attributes are increased by 300%. Physical resistance is increased by 300%. Elemental resistance is increased by 300%. Toughness is increased by 300%. Mental resistance is increased by 300%. 10% of the maximum physical value is restored per second, and 10% of the maximum energy value is restored per second. As the super possessed spirit state continued to accumulate, Wang Meng's eyes slowly returned to clarity. At this time, there was a cold sweat on his back. He knelt on the ground, put his hands on the ground, and kept breathing heavily. He almost died just now. He kept panting and began to recall all his experiences after arriving on the desert island. Picture fragments flashed rapidly in his mind. Soon, he recalled. He had a similar feeling before, that is, when he obtained the Starfang ring. Due to wearing 10 Starfang rings, his spirit suddenly increased by 30 points. The sudden increase in energy also calmed down his somewhat extreme emotions in an instant. It was then that he discovered the importance of spiritual attributes. At the same time, I also discovered the strangeness of this deserted island, Wangdao. The danger is not just monsters. Open the panel. Sure enough. Mental 9/189 in a state of severe depression. His mental attributes have dropped to single digits. This is the data obtained after he used superpossession 10 times and his basic attributes were strengthened by 300%. With the 300% increase in all attribute resistances of superpossessed soul, his spirit began to slowly recover. He shook his head and stopped thinking about anything about going home. Glancing at the phone on the bed, he turned on the screen without hesitation. Clicked on a folder. Soon, a familiar singing voice sounded. The lovely teachers started singing and dancing. Collapse. There was a loud noise and a hole was punched through the bed board. The whole bed fell apart. Boss Xie was hiding in the corner, his eyes raised high. No, I must call Mimi here tomorrow, otherwise the master will definitely go crazy. The sun and the moon alternate, and another day comes. Early in the morning, Wang Meng felt refreshed and all his depression was gone. I looked at the mental attributes. Spirit 5663 pleasure. Although he has not fully recovered yet, he is indeed in a good mood at the moment. Today he did not go hunting. Instead, he went outside and cut down a few branches to prepare a stronger wooden bed. While making the wooden bed, he was thinking in his mind. The thrilling experience yesterday was something he could never forget. This desert island seems to have a strange power. The longer one stays, the more decadent one's spirit will be. When the mood is too low, the mental attributes will continue to decrease, and it may even attract some kind of weird existence to devour oneself. At the last moment yesterday, he actually saw substantial black mist pouring out of his body. This is definitely not my imagination. After making the wooden bed, Wang Meng used Super Spirit on his body several times. Super Possession can increase various resistances, especially mental resistance, which is very useful. He decided to use Super Spirit Possession on his body for a long time in the future, just in case. Move the wooden bed to its original location and open the chat group. At this time, the chat group was quiet, and all the players who were supposed to be online disappeared. After yesterday's open beta of the game, not a single player came online. Hey, is anyone there? The game server is now open, everyone, get up and have fun. Hello everyone, if you are a brother, come and chop me down. Wang Meng sent more than a dozen messages, but no one responded to him. The entire chat group has become empty. When I open the forum, there are no new replies. At this time, Wang Meng probably guessed it. If this game is divided into internal test server and public test server. Now, I'm afraid everyone has gone to the new server, and he is the only one who has been forgotten in the internal test server. This is really disappointing news. Soon, he found that his mood was getting lower and lower, and his mental attributes were declining rapidly. Wang Meng quickly closed the chat group, turned on his phone, and tried again. He must maintain a good mood, otherwise the darkness will swallow him. Afterwards, the bed collapsed again. He had to make a new one. After it was done, Wang Meng made himself a hearty breakfast and had a delicious meal. He sat on the boulder, looking at the calm sea and blowing the sea breeze. Turn on your phone and watch the video that your family took of you. A long time, he made a decision. He wants to leave here and visit every corner of the desert island. He's going to find other players. Now that this game has started open beta, it means that a large number of humans will definitely come to this world. And as long as he walks far enough, as long as his footprints are long enough, he will always find his way home. Wang Meng stood up suddenly and carefully put the phone into his space backpack. He jumped off the boulder, came to the vegetable garden, cut down all the plants, and turned them back into seeds. For the 2 spiritual trees, they found 2 huge oyster shells and transplanted them carefully. He put everything he could take away from the cave into his space backpack, leaving only a fire pit and staying there alone. Stepping out of the crack in the stone, turning on the muscle form, he moved a huge stone and blocked the entire gap tightly. Wang Meng, wearing a straw hat and holding a spear in his hand, stood in front of the boulder. Behind him, Mr. Xie, who was more than 3 meters tall, was carrying 2 small trees on his back, and a small black spider stood beside him. Standing for a long time, Wang Meng turned around resolutely. This is not his home, he wants to go back to his hometown. A young boy's journey, he was going to find his way home. One day, Billy, thank you, boss, what are you doing? Billy, beep, beep. Did you make a mistake? Didn't you see that the atmosphere was just right? Why do you want to say goodbye to your girlfriend at this time? Get out of here, I'll give you 10 minutes. Billy. Impossible, you coward, how could it possibly take 3 hours? 10 minutes at most. With Wang Meng's approval, Boss Xie ran back to the beach, and the female crab quickly ran out. The 2 of them were inseparable, and soon they started doing things that Wang Meng envied. 3 hours later, Boss Xie crawled back tiredly. As expected, he did not break his promise. Facing the wind and sand, the few people had just walked not far away when the female crab followed them. Thank you, boss, for looking back. Billy, 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 Billy. After saying that, Boss Xie turned around and left without any nostalgia. Wang Meng walked in front, covering his heart with his hand. He understood everything just now. Why, Boss Xie is just a scumbag, but this female crab still has to wait for him and raise their children. Why can't I meet such a good girl? There is no justice. Wang Meng turned around and kicked Boss Xie to the ground. You scumbag. After saying that, he walked towards the forest without looking back. Spidey followed closely behind him. Soon, Boss Xie got up and followed the large army in a hurry. In the forest, giant green crabs crawled on the vines. Wang Meng was lying on Boss Xie's back, holding something in his hand. When he reached level 10, he received 2 treasure chests, 1 gold and 1 purple. A full career transfer card and some materials were found in the golden treasure chest. A card was also revealed in the purple treasure chest. Item: Game Permission Card, Level 1. Type: Consumables. Quality: Purple Rare. Introduction: This is a letter left by someone. Effect: After use, you can enter the administrator's room. Evaluation: 3 stars. Looking at the card in his hand and recalling his own experience, Wang Meng became more convinced that there must be someone behind the scenes if they could travel through this world. Especially the several reward treasure chests I obtained, the contents seemed to have been placed in advance. Use. The purple card in its hand turned into a stream of light and disappeared, and its consciousness was instantly pulled deeper. Looking around, it's still the sea of stars. But this time, there was no inheritance light ball floating around it, only a figure standing quietly in the distance. Who are you? Wang Meng asked warily, but the figure opposite did not answer, but grinned. If you look carefully, you will see that the person standing in front of you is not a person, it is really just a black shadow. Its whole body is like a mosaic, composed of countless small black squares, which makes people dizzy just by looking at it. Hello, player. You can ask me 3 questions. Please think carefully before asking. You only have 3 chances. The black figure in front of him slowly spoke, his voice hoarse, like countless electronic sounds superimposed. What he said was obviously a bunch of noise, but Wang Meng understood it. Wang Meng looked at the black shadow in front of him seriously, his mind spinning rapidly. Can only answer 3 questions. Who is this dark shadow? Is the person in front of me a human being? Or is it just a program? All this seems to be in a fog, making it difficult to see clearly. Think about it for a long time. Wang Meng spoke slowly. This world is too unfamiliar to him, and he must use these only 3 questions to get more information. Why are you dragging us into this world? Wang Meng spoke slowly. In fact, he wanted to ask who the other party was at first, but on second thought, even if he knew the identity of this existence, it might not be of any help to him. He must know the other party's purpose. Because I want to save the world. The black shadow spoke slowly, but this answer was beyond Wang Meng's expectation. Save the world. Why save the world? After waiting for a long time, the black shadow did not continue to speak, but you did. But this seems to be the complete answer. At this time, Wang Meng realized that this dark figure probably had no IQ. I'm afraid it's just a projection of power, or a phantom clone. Helpless, he could only ask the second question. Where is this? This is the sea of the end, the grave of all intelligent life. After the black shadow finished speaking, he became dull again. Wang Meng sighed. It felt like he didn't ask this question. Couldn't he be more detailed? He hesitated for a moment and reorganized his words. He was left with only one last question. How can I get back to Blue Star? When he asked this question, the black shadow was stunned. The mosaic squares on its body began to rotate continuously, as if it had been affected by something, and began to slowly disintegrate. Upgrade to the world level. Intermittent words came, and the garbled characters on the black shadow began to crack, and then instantly collapsed into a black spot and disappeared. Wang Meng opened his eyes fiercely. He was still sitting on Boss Xia's back. What just happened in the blink of an eye, like a dream. Looking at the purple card disappearing from his hand, he muttered to himself. Raise the world level. He seemed to understand somewhat. Wang Meng took back his thoughts and calmed down. he suddenly felt that the sun was getting brighter. Although the 3 questions just asked made him feel lonely, he finally found the direction home. If you want to improve your world level, you probably have to continuously improve your own level first. Going around and around, in the end you have to work hard to upgrade. Sure enough, the game world is the game world, and upgrading and killing monsters is the main theme. Wang Meng picked up the spear and jumped off Boss Xia's back with a firm look in his eyes. It's boring to be on this deserted island anyway, so I'll go to full level first. With a strange cry, Wang Meng rushed deep into the forest. 3 days later, Blue Star, a middle-aged teacher wearing glasses, walked to the podium. Dear students, the teacher is very happy to teach you. Just now, the Chinese government has issued a notice. In 3 days, registration for martial arts exams will begin across the country. Anyone over the age of 16 can participate, and if you take the martial arts exam, you will have the opportunity to become a player and go to a different world. As soon as the teacher finished speaking, all the students below were ecstatic and screaming crazily. 3 days ago, the news about the spiritual energy recovery was already popular on the internet. After the global public beta of the game, there was neither time travel nor invasion by monsters from other worlds. Instead, all Black Forbidden Lands were turned into copies. As long as you go to the Black Forbidden Land and kill a monster at will, you can immediately get the panel and become a game player. And it is said that there are more than a dozen statues on the periphery of each Black Forbidden area, and each statue represents a profession. Just like playing online games, there are all kinds of wizards, warriors, archers, and assassins. There are no thresholds and no restrictions. Every ordinary person can obtain extraordinary power as long as he dares to fight monsters. It is said that many people across the country have rushed to the Black restricted area, preparing to become players. Teacher, I want to sign up and take the martial arts exam. Teacher, choose me, I will play Jungle Thief 6. Teacher, I am in the golden rank. The country cannot lose this talent. The teacher on the podium shook his head and slammed the table. Registration will start in 3 days. You should go back and discuss it with your family first. This martial arts test is no joke. After saying that, he turned and left. After leaving the door, the teacher took off his glasses, and his cloudy eyes suddenly became bright. I think back then, I was also a diamond. The secret underground base of Bureau 86. Li Yong held the information in his hand and kept flipping through it. Since the open beta of the game 3 days ago, drastic changes have taken place around the world. The Black restricted area that previously terrified all countries has suddenly become a hot topic. These Black restricted areas not only lead to different worlds, but can also produce super players in batches. As long as there is enough time, I believe that in the near future, all human beings will enter the era of superpowers. All 14 Black restricted areas in Huaxia have been blocked by the military, and ordinary people are prohibited from entering. The above have also begun to plan how to effectively use these 14 copies to start mass-producing super players. At present, several other big countries have also stabilized, and even several countries, led by the beautiful country, have begun to wage war against nearby small countries. They want to compete for more Black restricted areas. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.